Da, 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 da. Bomb. We are live. We are live. Thank you so much. That makes this show. We're having a little bit of technical stuff. Why wouldn't we have technical stuff at the very first show? It's not like we prepare. We're a bunch of addicts. Welcome to Attitude for Gratitude. We'll work for Recovery's Attitude for Gratitude. Weekly live podcast. Yes, you. So tonight, it's going to be our premiere, introductory, awesome new show. It's going to be a lot of things going on. It's going to be real busy, a lot of people hopping on and off the mics. We're going to have some board members on. We're going to have some products of Will Work for Recovery, like myself. I'm a product of this place. I started here 5-6 years ago, and it's this place right here. We're going to talk a lot about it, as you're going to hear a lot of shows coming up moving forward from this place. Paul and Carolyn and the board were so gracious to collab with me and say, yeah, let's do the podcast here at Will Work for Recovery, where there's going to be tons of support and lots of guests coming on. The podcast is just going to grow. We're going to take ideas from fellow addicts and alcoholics who come through these doors, and anyone with ideas, just like we say every week. Like, if you got an idea for the show, bring it to us. Put it in them comments. There's also going to be multiple new venues to find the show moving forward. We still are, as you probably know, linked up through a bunch of the 2218 stuff. We are also with Will Work for Recovery's YouTube page. We're going to be on Will Work for Recovery's Facebook page. But this goes back to the whole thing about being prepared. I wasn't. We're getting internet stuff figured out, all that good stuff. And the main thing is that we can bring some recovery to anyone out there who wants to hear about it and get some recovery. So this is going to be awesome. Just confirm we got volume and all that good stuff. The French brothers, we're going to have you guys back on here in-house. I'm already sidetracked. So remember, if you're out there struggling tonight, please fight for yourself. You're worth it. Like, you're going to hear people left and right tell you about how their life looks today, and it's all because of recovery. So please just fight for yourself and check out them comments. You can network through this. You can post meetings that you like, or I'll have people talking about some events. We got a lot of things happening in the recovery community, and the main thing is like, if you're struggling tonight or at all, like, get down to Will Work for Recovery, 2520 North 2nd Street, and we talk about a lot of other places you can find your recovery. So check it out. Like, buckle up. It's go time. First thing I want to tell you guys about is this guy right here who's calling right in the middle of the show. This guy's name is Paul, and we're just going to make it uncomfortable and do like this. Hello, Paul.
Tim.
Yeah.
How do I watch this thing, or how do I get on it?
Yeah. So he's asking questions like a lot of you probably are going to ask, and you just go to YouTube, the Will Work for Recovery's YouTube page, or
Okay, go to YouTube. Will Work for Recovery.
yes, that's right. And other than that, being that we're live on air, I'm going to go ahead and hang up on you, Paul. But thank you, and thanks for having us have this here at the center. We love you, buddy. Ride safe. The reason he's not on this week is he's on his way to Sturgis, and it just fell on today, so he wasn't going to be able to be here, and that's okay. You got to see his pretty face on that call. We've got the Will Work for Recovery Summer Party coming up. It's at Wild Mountain, Sunday, August 20th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's out at Wild Mountain. It's $40 all-day pass. It looks like this type of event. Carolyn, Gracie, they'll kind of talk about some stuff that's happening here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with an intro. I want to get this right over to our guest in-house tonight, and that's a lot of people. So who have I got to my right?
My name is Carolyn. I'm the co-founder and executive director at Will Work for Recovery.
Hello, Carolyn. Welcome to the new podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited for you to be here, and I think that it'll create a lot of vibe and fun on a Friday night. And so just really excited.
Good.
You're
so
doing this.
I'm going to be asking you guys all sorts of questions. The main thing is if you guys are watching from the Will Work for Recovery's YouTube page, when the show's over, not now, but check out some of those videos. There's a good intro video that talks about what the center is, and it's Paul and Carolyn and a couple of the people that come up here and they do some testimonies. It's a real good video if you're curious about it, and it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. But One thing I want to ask you about is the same thing that you probably are almost sick of talking about, but when new people come in, there's a story you always tell, and I've had you tell it on here too, but there's some people that I know are already listening that I've tried to regurgitate your story to them about losing everything and how these old guys helped you out. Would you be okay sharing that story real quick?
The marble story?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Carolyn, and I'm in recovery, and I've been in recovery since April 14th, 1996. Yeah, I am grateful for the gift of desperation because that's where I was at, and I had gotten out of prison. And I kind of, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have I didn't have goals. I didn't have someone to work with me. I was kind of wandering aimlessly, and it was a short period of time that I decided that I should have drinks for my birthday in January, and so
Sorry, you're also going to be on
on
camera.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So anyway, I ended up back in jail on a parole violation. I was heading back to prison. So while I was there, the gal said, "Oh, do you want to go down to the AA meeting?" And I was like, "No, not really. I mean, I've been many AA, many treatments, many everything," and there were these two old guys that came, and it was just before Easter, and I was like, they said, "Well, what's your story?" And I said, "Well, I miss my family." And he's like, "Yeah, I missed my family too, when I was locked up, but the first chance I got to get to the bar is the first place I went." And I was like, "You're kind of an asshole, aren't you?" So, but he intrigued me because he had challenged me, and they told me they'd help me get to a meeting, and it was very shocking that I got released on a Thursday. By Friday night, I had myself convinced I had to go to North Minneapolis to get a bag of clothes. I left. Sure. And I started at the 200 bar, and
a bag of clothes, the quotes, the bag of clothes.
The bag of clothes. And it was the most awful weekend of my whole using life, and I came back, and I knew I had to start treatment again, and but at that point in time, I got on my knees and I cried out to like whoever and whatever is out there, just please help me stop or let me die, because those were like the only two options I felt like I had, and I went and waited on the steps of the jail, and those two old guys came out for a cigarette break, and I told him what happened over the weekend, and he said, I said, "I'm so low right now, I could kiss a spider's ass." And I really meant it. I wasn't trying to be funny. And he said, "You're like the bright sunshine, I see lots of people in jail. Yeah, I'm gonna. They
Right.
don't do anything. And you're the first person that's come and asked for help," he said. So they helped me get to a meeting. I got to my first meeting, and he gave me a marble and a 24-hour medallion, and he said, "I want you to put this marble in your pocket, and if you ever decide to use again, I want you to take this marble and throw it as far as you can, and then you lost all your marbles." Well, I've carried that same marble and that same 24-hour medallion with me every single day for 27 years in my coin purse, and I've chased it across holiday stores, Target, and I just scream, "I can't lose my marble!" And people are like, "What is up with that lady? She's nuts."
Wasn't it like a few years ago there was a tobacco about in the garden or something happened? You lost something?
I misplaced my
Yeah.
marble because I changed my coin purses. And I was so distraught. I'm just like, "Where's my marble?" Blah, blah, blah. So I'm digging up weeds in the garden, and all of a sudden I dig up this marble that has a chip in it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, we're all broken in some ways, and you know what I mean? It's like, I'm keeping this marble. So then I did find my marble in my coin purse, and I was very happy to have my original one back. But yeah, so basically when people celebrate their recovery anniversary dates, the first time they come here, and they get a medallion or a key tag, and so they get the marble and the 24-hour medallion, and they get the story. And hopefully, it touches people's hearts like it did to me. It made a huge impact on me, and I was going to hold on to that sucker like my life depended on it.
Does. I've heard multiple people. That's why I wanted to. I know I was thinking like she must be sick of telling this, but on the other hand, like it's rewarding to tell it because I know for a fact multiple people go to so many different clubs and talk about the marble or the soldier. Like that's part of this club. Like anyone who's been to Woolwork knows about the marble, knows about the surrendering, knows about these little toy soldiers, and we know it's all just stuff. But it means a lot to people, especially a newcomer that's heard about it and shows up. I've seen them waiting for that. They heard the stories, and they're on the edge of their seat. They want their marble too.
Oh gosh,
it's just one of those things that you get here at Woolwork. It's awesome. So also, like I was saying, if anyone out there listening wants to check YouTube, like you and Paul are being interviewed by someone, but I do want you guys both back on because I'm going to grill you guys about how this all started. But like just a quick synopsis about the vision and why you guys started the club.
Okay, so I can only speak for my part. My part was that particular meeting with a bunch of old timers. They kicked me in the butt. They told me what to do on a daily basis. They didn't care about what I felt. They just cared about what I did. And that started very early in my recovery. At 6 months, I was to help other women. And I'm like, how the hell do I get, I'm just panicking. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be around for. So anyway, my sponsor at the time was going into the Shakopee Women's Prison for a book club. And the guy who gave me my marbles said, well, you should go in there and start a meeting. And I was like, this is a saying back in the day, quit shooting on me.
Shooting.
And then he's like, and you know what? If you want to maintain your recovery, you're going to do it. And I'm like, ah. So I had been going into the women's prison for 22 years. And initially, when I got clean, it was make a list of beyond your wildest dreams. Well, I had all these, I wanted to buy my own house, own my own business, do this, do that, and all of those things happened for me. They all came to life. And what it was is that I sat on my couch one day and I just said to I should start a nonprofit helping women get out of prison. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I kind of had a different business idea in mind. And from then on, I was like, I'm not going to do anything on my own again. And I met Paul being able to go to a memorial ride for a good friend of mine that I went to treatment with. And he passed away from cancer. And it was crazy because within a week, he was sharing his vision of how he had this vision of, this cool place with leather couches that people could come and feel comfortable and at home and whatnot. And, and my main thing was just I wanted to work with women one-to-one getting out of Shakopee, and just helping coach them and guide them and set goals and make plans. And so that's how Will Work for Recovery started. Paul asked me to go for a ride with him the next day, and I said sure. And then we had dinner within a week, and we talked about this place. And my first saying was like, "I'll do the paperwork. I'm sick of dealing with the IRS. I'll call them every day."
But like a 501(c), which this is a nonprofit, correct?
A 501c3,
yes.
yes.
C3. I mean, it's not just like I'm going to make a call and it starts. There's some, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Is that, someone shared just recently at our men's meeting about I'm going to just start my own 501, and Paul's like, you should think again. Like, he thought it was just real easy, and Paul's like, you don't get it. Like, you got to do a lot. There's a lot involved. But you guys did it, and now you guys are in the process of, grants and have been awarded some things, and, we got computer rooms, and, there's a lot of big stuff happening here. I know I could spend the whole time bugging you about telling us all these things that
Yeah.
are part of Will Work for Recovery here at 2520 North 2nd Street.
Minneapolis.
Yes. I mean, and there's, what is it, a meeting every day of the week.
Twice a day.
Yep. And Sundays we do, you go ahead. I'm stealing your thunder. What we got going on here?
Oh, Sundays is every other week is Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah.
Until the football games start, and then it's every Sunday. There's a big crowd, lots of food, lots of yelling, and yeah.
It's just a great camaraderie fellowship. Like,
Sure.
it's a big party. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
other than that, Carolyn, like until I can get Paul on here and the both of
Yeah,
you, like
of
our good
course.
show where I can bug the both of you
Yeah.
about the story of how this came about and like
Sure.
where we're going in the future with the club. Like this is part of it, like adding more events, things like the podcast. Like I said, we have a reentry program here. There's tons of stuff that is going on here. Like I was showing you guys that I love having the camera. Like we can show all this stuff, but I will get throughout time. We're gonna have people that are gonna kind of handle putting stuff up here so the guests can split screen with our advertising of events coming up, like the go-karting,
Yeah.
the Wild Mountain Party, all that stuff. So, Carolyn, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
and
you.
like letting
Thank
us
you
have this
for
podcast
doing
here.
this. This is awesome.
This is my Friday night meeting. Like you guys
Yeah.
are doing me a favor. So
Awesome.
I appreciate it, Carolyn. We love you and
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you. I love
we're
you guys.
Pushing it on over to. Oh wait, no. Before you go, what are you grateful for?
What am I grateful for?
Yeah, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for all of you guys sitting here right now.
Yeah. Attitude for gratitude. We want to know what you're
Absolutely.
grateful for. All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you. We love you, Carolyn.
Thank you. Love
Next
you.
up, who we got? Get right up on that microphone.
Hello, I'm Miss Gracie. How you doing?
This is the godmother of recovery.
Oh, don't
She-
do that.
Listen, I'm gonna give you this intro real quick. If you've
Okay.
been to Will Work for Recovery, you've been to any 2218 on Thursdays, you've been any type of parties or fellowship, you know Miss Gracie. And if you haven't met her, get to know her. She's all right. Now I'm looking at you, so this will be personal. You're one of the most loving, caring women that I've ever met in the program. You're always there. You're always willing to give some advice. Like you don't sugarcoat nothing, and you're always quick to tell me to quit playing, which is good. I need to hear that. But I got you on the show because you are on the board of Will Work for Recovery, correct?
Yes.
What does that mean, even?
For me, my spot up in there is I'm like I do a lot of planning the parties. I get to get my hands in a lot of stuff. I like doing the parties, the little trips we go on, the picnics, everything that have something doing that recovery, recreation. I do all of that.
Like almost could say an event coordinator.
Yes.
I'm putting a title on it.
Yes, you can
But
put the title
realistically, though, I guess the form of the question is like, I don't know what a board is for a club even. Is that just break it down for a dummy like me. What is the board and what does that
Okay.
even mean when people, I'm always quick to say, oh, the board of the members at 2218 or the board of trustees. I don't know what it means.
No,
I just
we
say
have
words.
like a board. We have the treasurer, the secretary. We have the whole thing, just like a normal board meeting. If you in a high rise or in a big, one of the big places with their little board meetings, we do the same. We go in, we vote on things,
Okay.
and everybody vote. Yeah, then we go. If we say nay, then nobody goes.
So
you
that's
know?
it's like a business meeting at a
Yes.
recovery.
Yes, we have a business meeting
Okay.
once a month on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we do that, to keep up with everything, the paperwork, what's going on around here, the bills and everything, keep everything intact and what we planning for next. And then I have a couple of more guys. You're going to meet them once they get back. One of them out of town and the other one is at work tonight. Jarek and
Are we there? Like, how many board? There's 6 or 8 board members.
yeah, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Carolyn, how many board members are there?
Carla, how many is us on the board?
We're using our fingers and we're counting. But there's like 6 or 8 or something.
stuck at 2.
Yeah.
Jared, Chris.
Chris, Todd, Paul, Carolyn, Gracie. Yeah. Well, all I can tell you guys is that
It's 8.
there's 8. And we're going to have every board member will be on the show within this first month or so. But, and that's why I wanted to ask you, like, just out of pure ignorance on myself, is like, I've always said, oh, the board's meeting or this, that. I don't know what it is. So
You know.
it is basically like at a business meeting of a recovery.
Yes, we're just keeping everything intact. All us get together. We vote on stuff. We plan stuff. We have to keep up with the bills and stuff.
Oh, so you guys are taking care of all of it.
It's everything.
You guys are the
It's-
reason that this club stays
yeah,
open.
Yeah.
So would it be a good term to say, like, you guys are the grease that keeps the wheels going of this place?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
I'll pump you up for you. So, so Ms. Gracie, what does Will Work for Recovery mean to you, and what is it for you?
What it means to me, it's a place that took me out of my darkest spot and put me where I need to be. And if it weren't for this place, I don't know where I would be at now, because, when I first came here from St. Louis, I was broken, I was lost. And once I got here and I came to this place, and I was going to New Way, and everybody was talking about this place.
Yep.
So my first time walking in the door, I was like, what the hell is this?
Right.
I'm looking around like, what they done got me into? I thought it was a little cult or something. But, one thing I think about, and I pray on this every day, for this place and this place to get stronger and getting more and more people into what we're doing, because we love this place. This is our home.
Mm-hmm.
And all I ask people to do, treat it like you would treat your spot.
Right.
Because Carl and Paul, they didn't put a lot in here. So it's time for us to help them.
Right.
We should be able to take care and maintain here and without them being here.
Thank
know.
you, Carolyn.
And how I got here is just amazing. And every day I be here. I don't miss a day. I don't.
You don't.
think.
Anytime I'm here, you're here. Like, even like on Thursdays when you go to another meeting, like you
Yes.
you still here.
Yes, that's the only day I probably don't come here. It's on a Thursday, because I go over to 2218. Because
So-
I have to share my wealth with everybody.
That's what and you know what? I wanted to also kind of not elaborate on it, but like you talked about coming from St. Louis. You came from a real dark place, and you came up here alone. Well, you and Kenny. I don't know if it was. I don't know
Yeah,
the
me
exact
and my
story.
husband came here
Yep.
together.
But it's not like you had a handful, ton of people. But
No.
now, like the way your life looks today,
Oh my God! I
like
had
just your
a-
phone book and your phone.
Between my phone and my phone book and the fellowship for my birthday and for my sober day, it was amazing of what the people spoke up for me. These people said some things to me that I wouldn't thought I would have heard in a many years. And I'm talking about I did not know that I had touched so many people, but they don't know how much they done did for me. And I tell them every time, it's no big me and little you. It's we together. That's how I look at my recovery. I'm no better than nobody. I don't have no more than nobody. Like I tell them, I work for what I want, and what I want, I get it. I'm not bougie. I'm not fake. I'm not none of that.
Nope, she's not. Nope, she's not. And if you know Miss Gracie, like I was saying before, like she won't co-sign anyone's shit,
No.
but you'll fight for them to the end
Yeah.
if they're about their recovery.
Yes, I will.
Well, Ms. Gracie, what are you grateful for in life today?
I'm so grateful for waking up this morning and knowing that I got another day being clean and free.
All right, well, now this is where I'd usually boot you, but you're not going nowhere yet because there's a few things I need to keep bouncing back to you with. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this. I got to be careful when I turn. Unmute. We're back.
Okay.
Sorry, audience. Sorry about that. Now, I got to be careful because it's one of these cords that will mute us if I get too crazy. Okay. So now we're moving it. You know what? I'm sorry, audience. I've got these little balls. Wait a sec, that sounds wrong. I've got these little cylinder things with cameras in them, and it mounts up here. So eventually we're going to have like split screen. Eventually there'll be some differences going on
Yes,
here, and
it
it's
will.
not going to be the way it is now. Like I said, this was last minute, not prepared on my end. This all falls on me. We'll Work for Recovery was here to help me the whole way through, and they keep asking me what do I need, offering to financially back things and help, and it's nice to have that. So, batters up. Who are you?
I'm Dale.
Dale, welcome. Welcome. How long you been coming to Will Work for Recovery?
A little over 18 months.
18 months. And what do you do up here?
I am doing everything up here. Everything. When I mean everything, make sure the lights stay on, changing light bulbs, washing stuff. I do everything I possibly can to keep me sober.
That's a good way of putting it. You do everything you can to keep yourself sober. This isn't a show where, like, until we get Jordan and Ashley on, we're not going to be going like into depths with stories, but I'm going to have most all you guys that are hopping on, you'll be invited to come back as a guest on the show where we can dive in deeper. So with that, what I need to know from you is, like, what does Will Work for Recovery mean to you?
This place means more like a family to me.
Break it down.
I mean, honestly, from Miss Gracie to Caroline, Miss Gracie's like a mom to everybody in this place that you can't ask for, you can't wish for. She does everything from making sure you have something to eat to make sure you have clothes, a place to stay. I mean, there's so many different stories I can tell you. I've heard about that lady that this place is just a giant messed up family. That's just the best way I could put it. This is the biggest messed up family I've ever had in my life, and I love it. It keeps me sober. If I have a bad day, I can come down here, find Miss Gracie, find Caroline, find Paul. There's always someone here. I mean, the doors are always open.
Yes. There's always some form of fellowship going on here. After almost every meeting of the week, there's always someone talking about fellowship. And I'm going to put this out there for everyone. I just spoke somewhere on Saturday, and I spent a lot of time talking about the newcomer. And this doesn't just mean the newcomer, but anyone listening, like, if you're at a meeting and Matt, you know what? Matt K was on the show 2 weeks ago and shared about this. And ever since then, I've been on this topic in my head. It's like, include people. When you're going out for fellowship after, even though, you know, in your head, everyone knows we go up to Waldock's, or everyone knows that we go to JJ's, or we go get ice cream after Thursday night meeting. Not everyone does know. So go out of your way and make sure that quiet guy in the corner, that girl who doesn't seem to make eye contact, go up to them and say, like, hey, we're going to get ice cream. And they say, nah, I'm good. Tell them how fun it is. Like, get outside your comfort zone and, like, invite some people out to some fellowship. Because I know in early recovery, that's what this place did for me. When we were on the other side, like, a lot of my recovery came from this place, and it included me. I don't know. We used to do this Build-A-Bear thing, or some monster bear. What was it called, Jordan? Jerry started it. Frank and Teddy. Like, a bunch of old men sewing up teddy bears. Like, you grab 5 teddy bears, cut their arms off and their heads off, and start making some Frankenstein. I was invited to do that. I'm like, well, I don't know how to sew. Paul's like, I didn't either, but come check it out. We got safety pins. You don't need to know how to sew. And whatever. It's still my dog's favorite toy. This one that has like it was like a teddy bear head and like a cat's body with like elephant arms. It was whatever, but things like that. So get outside yourself and invite people to come. What kind of is there a fellowship that you participate in, and what does that look like for you?
I mean, fellowship is everything from coming here after the meeting. You know, going to Elsie's is one of our favorite places. Sharna's is one of our favorite places. And the big part of fellowship is you don't have to have money to go to fellowship. You'd be surprised if you show up to fellowship how much fun you can have, how much more interactive you can be in recovery. The more you do for it, the better it gets in life.
Right. And that's the other thing we were talking about is the money thing. Like, it's free to come here. They do pass a basket. There is there's soda and water at the front, and they let you know, like, hey, it's $1, it's 50 cents, whatever it is. Like, if you got money, pay for it. If you don't, grab one. But when you do, please throw some money. It's like, and what we find is that the longer you keep coming, you end up having money. When I came here, I didn't have no money. I was broke. And now I'm able to give a 20 spot each week, or give 100 here or a 50 there. And it doesn't break me because my recovery came first. And now, like, life starts falling into place, and you start getting your finances in order. It's not the promise of financial security. It's the promise of knowing how to get financial security and, like, maintain life. Whatever. I'm going off on some side things we're not supposed to do right now. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for everybody here. I mean, honestly, I am. That's everybody that comes here helps me every day. That's it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before I kick you out of your seat?
No, let's keep the scene going.
All right. We're going to scoot over. One of you two, Vaughn or Gabby, batters up. But I'm going to turn this way. And audience, I'm sorry. If it mutes out, just bear with me and I'll unmute it. But I'm playing this magical, or what's that called, musical camera. And like I said, we'll try to do this without losing sound. And we did it. Who are you, who are you?
Jessica.
Jessica. Welcome to the show. And how do you know about Will Work for Recovery?
My ex's family actually brought me a couple months ago for the first time.
An ex's family.
My ex's family.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just in general, like an ex-boyfriend's family. Were they like, you need some recovery? Or were they like, check this place out, like this could really help? Or
Well, it was my ex-husband. And
I gotta be funny. Try my best at being funny, and it's not that good.
Right too well.
But you see what I'm getting at? Like, was it a deal where like you need some help, or it's like I think you know what I'm saying? Like, how was it brought about that they were like, we'll work for recovery, go check it out?
It was to help me stay sober.
Okay.
I was early in my recovery. Moved to a sober house, wasn't comfortable, and they started bringing me here.
Oh, them are real good. Phew. That's like
Squirrel.
Squirrel. So Jess, I met you for the first time tonight, and I introduced myself to you because no one else was going to introduce us. Just as long as we sat by each other, it's like might as well introduce myself. So, how have you liked it? Or do you like it coming up here, or like what are your thoughts about Will Work for Recovery?
If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be here. So there's
don't
that.
know.
I really like it here. I like the atmosphere. I like everybody that's here. Everybody is nice and welcoming.
So you've been coming here for a couple months now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as often as I should have, but I've been picking it up the last month. So.
Okay, and so if there was someone out there who's never been here, and they're looking for somewhere to go, what would you tell them, and why?
Well, one of my girlfriends I'm actually trying to get her to come here. So.
Yep.
Oh, come closer.
Come closer.
Okay.
I could adjust the mic to you, but yeah, try to get
I've
closer.
been trying to get my girlfriend to come here now that she is sober again.
Why? Why are you trying to get her to come here?
It's-
Oh, here's the other thing. I might ask you guys, anyone listening, I might ask some questions that seem really just silly, and like, of course we know them answers. There's a lot of people listening that have not been in recovery, that are thinking about recovery. They don't know what to do next in life. So just bear with some of these silly questions, like the one I'm asking, like, oh, why would you tell her to come here? But serious, like, why do you think this place would be good for her to come check out?
Because she's a lot like I am. I am shy. I kind of just stick to myself, but I am comfortable here, and that's very rare for me to feel comfortable. So
That's awesome. That's the type of stuff I was hoping to get someone to share about.
Yeah.
So, like, even though we're at a place where there's 70 couches and some meetings get up to 100+ people, you still feel comfortable here when you're a shy person.
I do.
Like, you've made some friends here, some connections here, and, like, you're ready to recommend it to people that don't know about recovery that much.
Yep.
Cool. Only one of those buttons will make it fan. The rest are all heat. So don't start blowing heat in the room, girls. It'll get real hot. So other than that, before I ask you a final question, is there anything you want to add to anything you've been saying? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, that's about it.
What are you grateful for in life today?
A second chance at life. Another day sober. There's a lot I'm grateful for.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Jess, and Jess is the reason we are live tonight is because of this little gadget. My hotspot was like, I don't know, like EBT hotspot. I don't know what's going on there.
hotspot.
But please hang
Unlimited,
out for a
so
while.
yeah.
Like, I want you here, but I also want that little device thing here
You're
too.
gonna borrow it until the
You are the
podcast
business.
is done.
Thank
so-
you so much,
Yeah.
Jess. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, next up, we got Vaughn in the house. Or no, I'm joking who we have in the house. I'll let him introduce himself. Hi, who are you?
Hey, my name's Vaughn.
Ooh, I lied. Let me do something. There you go. Who are you?
My name is Vaughn.
Welcome, Vaughn.
Thank you.
How long you been coming to Will Work for Recovery?
Oh, like almost 19 months.
19 months. What does this place mean to you?
This place is like family. I moved away for a while, and when I came back here, it was like I never left.
What do you mean it's like you never left?
I left here. I left the cities about 7-8 months ago. I moved up north, and it was just a bad choice. And I came back to the cities, and I came back here, and people welcomed me like I never left.
Right.
Like I seen them yesterday.
Cool. That's kind of like what I want to get at is Jess just shared about that, like how she felt welcome, and a shy person can come here and fit in at a meeting where there's hundreds of people. So, how did you hear about Will Work for Recovery?
I heard about Will Work for Recovery from Will was my house manager, and he used to come here, still does come here all the time.
Yep.
He's the coffee man, Will.
He's the coffee man
the
tonight.
coffee man.
He's about
Well,
to be the pizza man for the podcast too.
Right.
American Pie.
Yep, American Pie Pizza.
Yes.
But yeah, he's the one that told me about this place, and I came here with him, and this is my home group. I just haven't been here for a while, but this is always will be my home
This is
group.
your home group, so you feel at home here.
Oh yeah,
You'd
yeah.
recommend this place to people.
I recommend this place to anybody that's never been to a meeting.
Yeah.
They'll make you feel comfortable. They'll welcome you like family, even if they've never met you before.
Right. Paul says it too a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people who are coming on that are. I always say I'm a product of Will Work for Recovery, but he's pretty good about saying like this is like a jumping off spot. You come here to get your legs steady and get yourself kind of steady to go face the world and go find some home groups. It might not be here. This might not be where you find your home group. My home group is at New Hope, Alano, but I'm here every Wednesday at the men's meeting. Like, I'll be here every Friday, and I know there's a meeting here every day. And now they got a 6:30 a.m. meeting. There's not many of those. They used to be at the Sahara Club, and then when COVID hit, this place was the one that stayed open. So that meeting came here from the Sahara Club, and now they got that 6:30 a.m. meeting, which is awesome for some early riser people. But other than that, is there anything you want to add?
Just if you've never been to Will Work for Recovery, give it a try. I promise you'll like it. It's like walking into a big man cave.
Yes. Or a woman cave.
Yeah, or she shed.
Is that what they're called? She
Yeah,
sheds
she
and man
shed.
caves? Now, I'm learning. Every day I learn. All right, what are you grateful for in life today, Vaughn?
I'm grateful for this place. I'm grateful for clarity, and I'm grateful for the choice. I have the choice.
My man. Thank you, brother. Ricky, come take
Yep.
this seat. Thank you. I appreciate you, Vaughn.
Yep.
Okay, next up, we got Gabby with an I. I got to stop introducing people. They got to do it themselves. You know what? Who are you?
I am Gabby with an I.
Gabby with an I. All right. How do you know about this place?
This is actually my first time here.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I'm a first timer.
So, who told you about it?
Vaughn over here did.
Thank you, Vaughn. What did you go to the Friday night meeting, the meeting earlier, or just come to the podcast?
No, I went to the meeting.
How was it? I
It
didn't
was
get to
great.
check it
It
out.
was like a big homey experience. I'm really happy I came here.
Did you know anybody?
Yeah, I actually knew a woman from Meadow Creek. I went there with her, so I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
her, and I knew Heidi and Hugh. I met a few people that I've met previously.
So now I'm gonna ask you, like, you can answer however you want, and you're not gonna hurt anyone's feelings. But like, this was your first time here. Like, did you feel comfortable? And I know you've heard a ton of people share about it, and if you didn't, it's all good. But like, how was the feeling of walking into a place, this many people, you weren't sure who you're gonna know? Like, how was that?
Well, we got here at like 5.
Oh, shit. You guys got here nice and early.
Yeah, we were sitting there for a while. I walked in and it was like instant home.
It was.
You know, all the knickknacks everywhere, and we sat down and it was great. And I was having a really hard time this week. I had a lot of cravings, and I was sick, so I didn't get to that many meetings. So I was thanking him for taking me here.
How long have you got right now?
I have 4 months.
You know what? This is where I go. Gracie, that's my audience.
Okay.
So, no, congrats. That's awesome. 4
Yeah.
months is huge, but to, like, having a tough week, having cravings, and then coming here, it is a bit, like, I try to explain, it's like, it's so busy when you go in there, whether you're alone or there's 100 people. But like you said, a lot of knickknacks, like, I don't know. For me, it's not your conventional walk-in, bare rooms, a couple 12-step posters on the wall, and a table with chairs. This wasn't that. So you came in here and it felt like at home.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So then, like, there's not a lot I'm going to be asking you about will work. Like, you have plans on coming back?
I do. I'm excited to come back.
And would you recommend this place?
I would, most definitely.
Yeah. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just, like, trying to get people's info on it. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my sobriety.
Your sobriety, yes. You know what? Do you have any goals that you're working on right now? Yeah, I threw a curveball.
I want I need to get a sponsor, but
What do you?
goals-
Well, all right, we're gonna stop right there. What are you doing to get a sponsor?
I'm going to meetings and getting numbers, but I was going to ask about a sponsor today.
I seen you just like point towards someone to your right. What do you mean? Oh, I thought you were pointing at Gracie and said, "I'm gonna."
Oh,
get-" I'm sure Gracie's got tons of those sponsees. So, no, the reason I did that was going to gear up to tell people about. I go to the 5 o'clock men's meeting, and we call it crosstalk at 5 o'clock. The ladies is at 4. Okay, there's an all women's meeting at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, and
I mean, 5 o'clock.
5. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys do it the same as us.
Yeah, 5 to 6.
And that's kind of how it goes at this is like it's an accountability meeting. So when someone's like, yeah, I'm working on getting a sponsor, someone will interrupt and be like, so what are you doing to get a sponsor? And like you gave some examples. I'm going to meetings. I'm getting numbers. And then the next week we'll be like, so how has it worked out for you? Like, have you made any calls? I don't know how the women's meeting goes. That's how the men's meeting is. Like, and it's not being an asshole. It's like genuine because that's what a lot of us need is someone holding us accountable to these goals or these things we're trying to do. An example, someone came in and was like, yeah, I'm going to get my license. What are you doing about getting your license? Well, I think I got it. Nope, stop. You got to call the DMV. Like we give each other advice or suggestions. And let's not sugarcoat it. We tell people exactly what we did that worked for us. And usually it's pick the phone up and call the entities that can help you with that. So other than that, you're grateful for your sobriety. We're looking forward to seeing you coming back some more.
Cool.
Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate you. Next up, batters up.
I met you at Pig.
Yeah.
Remember?
So
Yeah, I met
that's me. And we got Pretty Ricky in the house. This is a returning guest. Who are you, my friend?
Rick.
Rick. Just Rick.
Rick.
How's life going today, Rick?
Very well. Thank you very much for asking.
So, Rick, you are what we would say is somewhat a product of Will Work for Recovery.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been coming to Will Work for Recovery?
5.5 years.
5.5. He's a veteran. What? Oh, you're taking that? Maybe. I'm keeping this. Rick, tell us about Will Work for Recovery. Like, you've got boots on the ground. You chair some meetings here. You've been part of a lot of stuff in this last 5.5 years. And how much clean time do you have today? Yeah, we're going that route.
Well, yeah, so I did end up relapsing after 3.5 years.
All right, we can stop there. It's not that's not the reason I was even asking. What I'm saying is you didn't get this on the first go round, and you've been coming here 5.5 years, and you're still here today. Did Will Work for Recovery be like, you can't come back?
No, they never shut me out.
You see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah,
Talk about what that is like here when you're trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, so when that originally happened, like you were talking about spreading your wings and branching out, Unfortunately, I ended up slipping a while back because a best friend of mine passed away. So it really took a toll on me. So that was pretty much a great excuse to go back out, right? And the whole humility part of coming back and facing everybody after I fell off. So it took me a while to come back. But I was welcomed with open arms.
Right.
And that's, and that's something that I wasn't never really used to growing up. So, but I don't regret my slip. I learned a lot. And I'm very grateful to be here.
So, we got that out of the way. I just wanted people to understand, like, we do not shoot our wounded, but we never cheat them out of their bottom either. Like, we're not here to stop you from what you think you need to go still figure out. But we're here. I can't speak for everyone. I'm here when people come back. I'm not going to judge you. I don't know what that's like. It's what it is. I mean, I'm going to judge you, but I'm just not going to judge you out loud. It's also a program of honesty. If I told you I didn't judge you, I'd be a lie.
Right.
It's my human nature. I might not say it out loud, but I'm going to judge people. I'm working on it, Miss Gracie. Just quit shooting daggers at me. So, Ricky,
Yep.
what does Will Work for Recovery mean to you and your recovery?
It gives me a place to be myself. It gives me a place to speak when I'm having a hard time, when I feel like I'm losing my mind. But what it really it means to me is family.
Family.
Miss Gracie. Miss Gracie was one of them that we started coming to Will Work together. We were in treatment together, and she's like the mother I never had. I mean, and that goes for a lot of people who know her, and and of course, me and hers had our go arounds, but the love's still there. You said we don't shoot our wounded. She never did. She didn't put up with no shit.
No, she doesn't.
And that's just the reality of recovery. If a person doesn't give you a hard time or try to keep you in check, they don't care about
Right.
you.
Yeah, it's when they stop giving you feedback or even saying anything. When you know you're fucking up and they don't say a word to you, usually they don't care no more. Or they're just people that don't care, but you don't get that here.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've been part of that 5 o'clock meeting, and I don't know, accountability or whatever it is, like that happens here. And it happens with Paul. Like, he's not a guy who sits and has long conversations, but when I tell him I'm doing something, like the following week, he'll ask about what I told him I'm doing. Or like with money or something, like I'm in the midst of doing this with finances. He'll hold me to the coals on it. Like, where are you at with that? Well, why? Why you just pumping gums, like lip service? And me personally, I need that type of stuff, and I get that here. So, Rick, anything you want to add before we talk about your gratitude?
Man, I mean, there's a lot I could talk about, but I'm just for anybody who's struggling, really, man, please reach out. Like, you're important. Your life is valuable. And unfortunately, we've lost a lot of people. And wish they had the opportunity to reach out instead of they say that phone's 1,000 pounds, and shit, it is 1,000 pounds. Sometimes it's 1,000,000 pounds. But you just gotta tough it up and reach out, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, then, on that note, what are you grateful for?
Man, I'm grateful to be present. I'm grateful to be present in my kid's life. Man, I so many words, I can't explain it.
Rick, we know I love you, and we love you, and thank you for being here and not going anywhere yet. But thank you, Rick. I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
One of you girls are finally time to come belly up. Now, we have got a new guy that I met after I spoke. Was I speaking? Yeah. Oh, wait, my bad. You came up to me after I spoke, right?
SNL, yeah. You were the 30-minute speaker.
Who are you?
My name is KJ.
KJ, welcome.
Thank you. I'm pretty new to Will Works. I'm not going to lie. I was here one time last month, and that was the first time I ever even came to this place or heard about this place.
What'd you think about it when you came? Be honest.
Dude, I gotta keep it 150% with you guys. you guys made me like, you guys opened doors into kind of realizing like there's fun to be had in recovery. Like my mind was just kind of I was in a box, you know what I mean, before coming here. You know what I mean? So you guys surprised me. When I walked in this place, it looks like my buddy's basement. You know what I mean? It looked like my buddy's basement, minus the stuff that was keeping me trapped.
Right.
Minus the stuff that
Minus the debris that stays on the tables.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, you name it.
But you came up. I'm gonna just give like a little synopsis. As I spoke, and after you speak at SNL, like all sorts of people. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
And like I didn't tell no one. I was so nervous. I don't know why. My big mouth. I don't know why, but I knew about it for 4 months, and I didn't tell a soul that I was speaking. Jess was the only one that knew, and she promised me she wouldn't say nothing. And it was because I got butterflies in my stomach anytime I thought about speaking up there. So I didn't tell no one. And I got a lot of shit from people about that. Like, why didn't you tell? Whatever. Yeah. And then after you came up to me, and you're like, You told me a lot about yourself in like 10 seconds, like a lot. You're like, man, I did this and that, and like my life sounds like blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I was like, man, come to We'll Work for Recovery. I shared about the podcast. Yeah. And you started asking about that. So I was like, yeah, come on down. And you did know about this place because you have been here. Yeah. Right now, you go to the Salvation, right? You're at Salvation.
I'm in the ARC, the Adult Rehabilitation Center. We work 40 hours a week, and we.
You were in your keep. That's right.
We got a strict schedule. You know what I mean? No. We got a really strict. I make $21 a week right now.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And like
explain. You know what? Real quick, explain because people don't get what that is. ARC, like you get to take home $21 cash, basically, right?
But we live there. We eat some of the best like pasta dinners. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got fresh everything, garlic bread, yogurt, you name it, just to keep us going. And we live in these dorms. My buddy over here, Nick, he was my roommate in our last room, but so we're part of AA fellowship, the Alcoholics Anonymous fellowship. A lot of what we the classes we learn from are out of the big book. You know what I mean?
Right.
One of my home groups is called Shoulder to Shoulder.
Shoulder to Shoulder. Yeah. Is that there at the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's where I met my sponsor. And every single kind of guy running that. There's 3 guys running that group. Yep. Mike Lemon's my sponsor.
Okay.
That's where I met my sponsor.
Cool. But you earn your way, like, and I've always admired the way they do this because, I mean, I went to a place that if you put in so many hours a week, they would cover like $500 worth of your rent. Like, there's a lot of programs, but Salvation was one of the only places I've heard about where you out there working. Yeah. You're putting in a full week's work, and like you said, you're only taking home enough for 3 packs of cigarettes a week. Yeah. But it's your room and board and all that gets kind of covered in with that, correct?
Yeah. And it's a lot about like learning about what we're suffering from,
right?
Because for a long time I am the definition of the addict still suffering,
right? The suffering addict,
and even like within the last 72 hours, a couple nights ago, I'm laying in my bed staring at the ceiling at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's just calling me back out there. And but places like We'll Work for Recovery make it worth not going back out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Honestly, you guys it's just walking into this cool place made it just that more.
And like, how far away is it from there right now? Like on foot, what is it, about 15-minute walk?
Oh, we were walking for about 12, 15 minutes, maybe 15. We were taking our time. We saw a few, people on the way here. So
I kind of started cutting you off when you're finishing up that last part, and I'm sorry, but like you were saying, We'll Work for Recovery is helping save your life.
Oh, dude, most definitely.
Thank you.
It's keeping me it's one of the things that's keeping me sober. For real, dude. I'm just reaching 7 months.
Yeah.
Audience.
Thank you so much.
So like. I said this earlier too. Is a lot of you guys. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna hold you to the close about coming back on. How long are you gonna be at Salvation for? Is there an exit date or a departure date?
I commenced. I've been there since March 12th.
Okay.
Left Park Avenue, it just wasn't working out. So I got there March 12th, and then
keep going.
I think I commenced in like September, so I should be done in September. But like this is one of the places where I want to keep coming back to. Like after September, after I graduate from the program or whatever, this is one of the places I really want to continue coming to, just to have an option to go to instead of relapsing.
Cool. Now that's what, and
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I was gonna say that's something we definitely like to hear, but at the end of the day, like it is your recovery,
I appreciate
and you know you get to fight for it however you want and how bad you really want it. But to know that you like spread your wings, you come to places like this, SNL. I know that's close too for you, but I don't know. He said it's in all of our flyers. It says it right here. If your recovery doesn't come first, everything we love will come last. Like we find out the hard way about that. So, like I'm proud of you. I don't know you that well, but I met you one time. You said you were going to do something. You followed through. You're here.
I appreciate you.
Like I had 50 people that I've known for years talk about they're going to be at the new show on the first night.
Yeah. I just wanted to come support you.
Rick's
bro.
the only one, man. I appreciate you though. I do. I appreciate you followed through, man of your word. Like, thank you. You didn't have to come down here and spend your Friday night with us, and I appreciate it. And these doors you heard, they're always open. What are you grateful for in life today?
I'm really grateful for a power greater than me. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for this place, like as it being an option to come to instead of going back to my buddy's house. You know what I mean? And
He ain't your buddy.
but
no, I get it.
potentially, because every time I leave there, I'm ending up in jail, and I'm leaving in handcuffs because I done stole something, or I done stole from Home Depot, or everything.
I know.
Dude, you name it, dude. I don't want to go back. I'm done with war stories, really, at this point.
Huh.
I'm just through, dude. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm sick. I'm tired of sitting in that 6x9.
You stick
cell.
around here, listen to this enough. I usually have people on who will just you can. It does get better. There's some work you put in, but it's a promised life that's out here if you work for it. Like nothing's free or handed to you. I appreciate you, my guy.
God
I'm
bless
looking
you.
forward to when you're freed up to be able to come on the show for a full
Yes, sir.
time.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you know where to find me too. Wednesdays 5 o'clock here or Friday nights here.
I'll be here next
Keep
Friday.
coming back.
Thank you, bro.
We love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Come on. All right, so now back to your regularly scheduled program. Damn, I've never had the video on this long. I don't like it. So now we are gonna get to our stars, our main guests. You know what? I'm thinking about something here. Why don't you and Gracie switch spots?
Yeah.
And then that way I can flip the camera and
Yeah,
have
that
both
way,
you on
yeah.
there. So bear with me a second.
Okay, let's go this way.
Yes, I'm gonna mute you down so the audience doesn't hear me monkey humping. There you go. You just get a little. Let's just mute it off. Boom, boom. So pull your chair up here so you're super close to that mic. Oh, they don't. There's a video in their ears. There you go. I appreciate you, my guy. I really do. Thank you. All right, I love you, Ricky. All right, I love you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Gracie, you're staying?
Yeah.
Ricky, you're gonna make sure things get shut behind you. Thank you too. Thank you, guys. We love you. We'll work for recovery. All right, here we go. Superstars, superstars. Here they are, right there. Did I mute us? All right, Jordan. You need to scooch. There we go. If you guys can't see yourself in the camera, oh, that's what you were doing, getting all dolled up. Getting all dolled up.
Oh, I gotta go this way to be
Yes.
good. That's right.
Scooch over. You move the mics. Get good.
My ear strap is getting.
You're
long.
all good. All I need from you is if you see this thing turn red, that means it got muted because of something. But who are you?
My name is Ashley.
Ashley.
My name is Jordan.
Jordan. How are you girls doing tonight?
Doing good. Excited to be here.
It's really hot.
I tried. Are you not? Did I not turn it enough?
Yeah, no, you did.
Are you
Yes,
feeling
that
it?
Was, yeah.
All right. Because
I was like, thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I know we're in a room that is not AC'd, but I brought a little pretend AC in here. And next week, I think we're gonna have it out in the big room. The problem is I just don't want to break all this shit down every week. And I used to have people for that. Like I had a assistant, blah, blah. Whatever. It's not about me.
Fancy. I had an
Maybe we clean that
assistant.
front room up front and do it up front.
Yeah, that was a plan, but the problem is all this equipment. What do we do with it when the show's over? Just leave it out?
No, no.
I know. And it's kind of, look at all these chords and blah, blah, blah. We'll cross that. We're going to talk after the show about what your thoughts are on that.
Okay.
So, girls.
Hi.
Girls. Was that Mr. Roper that used to say, remember it was a TV show? You're like, girls. Whatever. All right, you guys. You girls.
Hello.
How do you two know each other? We're going to start back from the back.
Oh man, Jordan, you tell it best.
Oh.
Well, here's how I was just introduced to him. Tim, you want to hear about some toxicity? And she goes into a story about their past.
Okay. Well, when I first time I met Ashley was at the meth house, right? My friend's house, and of course I was making a big old dinner.
Wait, you said a meth house and you were making dinner
Yeah, because I loved to cook.
when you were whacked?
Oh yeah, big productions too, like fancy, like honey glazed carrots and just like real go to town
Just
stuff.
well whacked out.
Yeah, man, it was my jam.
Were you the only one eating?
No, surprisingly people ate.
That's kind of crazy.
So I'm making dinner and Ashley comes in and she starts chopping my onions wrong and I chased her out of the house with a butcher knife.
This is the first time you met? Mm-hmm. You're like, get out of my kitchen. This is my jam.
Well, actually, it was her boyfriend's kitchen.
Okay.
But and chased her out of the house, and then she was like, "Man, we were just friends after that, right? We were like absolutely inseparable." And
wait. We skipped a big spot there.
Well, okay, yeah, because after that, she just wanted because Ashley was nuts. I called her Crazy Train. Okay.
Oh, so you guys were like.
Yeah, we were, because she was in psychosis, and can I tell this? Okay.
And if I start bringing something up, you don't want to talk, just say, do like this or something.
She would be in psychosis, and she would hear things, and like, Ashley was the kind of person who, when you bring somebody over somewhere, and they're like, man, you can come back, but you can't bring your friend back here. That was that friend, but I loved her. I brought her everywhere, right?
This was your running dog.
Yeah, I mean, we built blanket forts together. I mean,
As adults.
Yeah,
As twag.
as adults.
I love this.
Because okay, so we met at her boyfriend's house, but two houses down on the same street, her ex-husband lived. And she had a room there too.
Yeah,
and so when one would, that's not even it. Also, okay, so we're at her boyfriend's, her husband lives 2 houses down, and at some point in time, I was also dating one of her baby daddies.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just one big happy toxic family. But so
Look at this.
I'm not gonna play with that.
It's like reefer ain't even legal yet, and you think they're all. Look at this. All right, so
This is what we do, though.
that's good shit. Real friends, like
like actually,
We
like
always laugh at the most messed up stuff. Everybody else will just be staring like we're crazy, and we're just laughing. We just think it's hilarious.
All right, so I'm the host guy who does this fast forward thing. So you guys met under some different circumstances, and you guys remained close throughout your using, or straight, or is it just like? I mean, how long are we talking before you got clean? How long were you guys out running and gunning together?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
But in
and
meth
then,
years, that's like 7 years in meth time.
Yeah.
Right?
And then, like, some stuff went down, and then I went and got clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, Jordan decided to come back.
Come
Then,
back.
like get sober too.
Okay,
get
clean,
Yeah,
yep.
So that was when she contacted me, and she's like, Ashley, come on, we're going to go to these meetings. And I'm like, what? I don't want to go to a meeting. She's like, no, just come on.
Oh, so you just cold turkey, like I'm done? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what? We do have the show. How did you start into recovery? Did you like go to treatment or
oh God, no.
you cold turkey too, or jail or what? Like,
Well, gosh, I started smoking crank at 14. I was a full-blown meth addict at 16 years old, Timmy. I did not even start adulting until my 30s. Are you kidding me?
no, I don't know.
Yeah, no, man. I did not adult. So I always wanted to be sober, but I could not figure out how, because it was something going on with me, right? I didn't like who I was. Was uncomfortable in my own skin.
Right.
And drugs and alcohol were my solution, but it wasn't just drugs and alcohol. It was shopping, gambling, sex, bad relationships, toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Anything to take me out of myself for a minute, right? And I spent my whole life using it as a Band-Aid because I just couldn't function. I didn't have the skills.
So that started like young.
Very.
Like adolescence type deal.
But to jump back, sorry.
Yeah, no, go
but
ahead.
to jump back to how I got in recovery this time, I was actually in a very abusive relationship, and he was beating the hell out of me, and I knew that if I didn't get sober, I wasn't going to leave him. And I mean raccoon eyes, goose eggs the size of his fists on my head. I mean, it was bad. And I left him on his birthday on November 22nd, 2017, and my friend Jason Rudine picked me up from the house we shared in Minneapolis, and all of a sudden we're in a Chinese food parking lot, and I'm like, what are we doing here? And he's like, oh, we're meeting the guys for food before the meeting. And mind you, I'm all beat up. I hadn't slept in days. I mean, I'm like, I'm not going in public. He's like, well, yes, you are. And
That's Brandon's brother, Jason.
correct.
Yes, I love that guy.
Jason
He
has-
does this show too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason has always been there. So me and Jason is another person. Jason was somebody else who was at Matt's house
Oh,
with me and
okay.
Ashley. Also, Jason was there. He knows who we're talking about.
Is that your sober date? That day you walked out of that house?
Well, that was the 22nd. My sober date's the 23rd. I don't continue.
Okay.
Yeah. So November 23rd,
17.
2017.
Nice.
Yes.
So then Rudine takes you to a meeting looking like you just got it done in a 10-round
just-
boxing match.
Oh, it was terrible. But I mean, he brought me to a meeting, and then I went to a meeting after that, and then the next day was Thanksgiving. And luckily, I had already had a sponsor, because that time Ashley was talking about I wasn't sober yet. And I think we both went back out after that. Yeah. So and that sponsor I had, luckily, was a higher power thing, that
Okay.
my higher power placed my sponsor in my life.
So then we're playing ping pong here. With you getting clean, were you clean when she got clean by that time? What's your sober date or your clean date?
My sober date is February 13th, 2021.
Okay. So then you had bouts before that of recovery, or no?
Short, like I'd have short periods of recovery.
And that was just like, I gotta reset for a while type deal? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was never really like committed to anything. I just knew that I couldn't be doing what I was doing anymore, and so then I would stop for a little while, and then I'd just go back to doing the same thing that I was always doing.
So what was the difference in 21 that made you be like, all right, this is it? Or it just stuck? Or was there something that made you decide that was it?
Well, I guess it was that at that moment in my life, I had realized that I had had so many like suicidal attempts and suicidal thoughts that if I didn't stop, that I was gonna end up ending myself. You know.
You didn't want to die.
I didn't. Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't want to die, and I mean, it took a few weeks, but then after a couple weeks, something just happened to me, and I realized I'm like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore, and something just stopped.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Was it, a lot of people will talk about a spiritual experience and say, like, once I finally said, I'm done, I'll do whatever, like in their head, all of a sudden, like, there's a shift. Is that kind of the deal, like you're saying, like when you made this arrangement with yourself, like everything kind of changed on your thought process, or what?
Yeah, like I had read a meditation out of the 24 hours a day, and it said you don't have to, it was just like, you don't have to drink ever again.
It was exactly what you needed to hear the day you read
Yeah,
it?
and then I was like, oh, I just have to give this thing over to God, and then it's not mine anymore. I'm like, okay. And I don't know, like, what I've heard it so many other times
I was just going to say,
before,
what made that make
but
sense that time? Do you know?
I have no idea. But
Like
it
all
did.
the stars aligned.
Yeah, all of a sudden I was pouring out all my alcohol that I had saved up just in case, and everything started changing. I started going to church. I started working out at the gym. I took service positions at meetings. I started doing all the things that
That we are suggested to do.
that were suggested to do.
How did you hear about We'll Work for Recovery? Does Jordan get that credit?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan probably did. Jordan probably did bring me here. I honestly, I don't remember.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take credit for your sponsor too. I mean,
Are you her sponsor?
but I
No.
introduced her.
No, I don't think it was her that.
That-
Look at these
No.
little giggly girls. They're like little teenagers.
Really
Or not. Well,
No, you can't sponsor your friends. That's not how that works.
but you can sponsor someone and end up becoming their friend.
Right, but then usually it's best to have them have a different sponsor because I think that boundaries get blurred, and I think
So
it's
can
important.
a guy be your sponsor?
Absolutely not, because when you're so vulnerable with somebody, people can tend to find vulnerability attractive even when they don't want to, and that's when lines get blurred and feelings happen, and you can say, "Oh, well, that's not me. I'm a good guy. I don't have those intentions." Well, you can claim those aren't your intentions. But when you're putting yourself in these situations and these females are getting feelings for you and all of a sudden they're getting hurt, I mean, is that the greater good or what are we really doing here?
I was always explaining, like, you're talking about that's life or death. You could kill someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's recovery, not discovery.
There you go. Recovery, not discovery. So
Besides, when you say things like, I'm going to go to Gopher State and get me a fiance, then you leave with one and you've got a 2-year dumpster fire relationship.
sounds like you know that from some experience or
I
something.
don't, maybe.
Or know someone. All right, so check this out. My question next is, being that we're kind of on that topic, what are your thoughts about dating in recovery? We'll start with you
Please don't
Ashley.
do it.
No, I'm serious. And I'm not saying when there's a good time. I'm. What's your thoughts about dating once you get into recovery, or finding someone, or is that even something? Take it away.
Well, I mean, relationships are difficult anyway, and it's like for me, it's a lot easier to just stay single, because I'm still discovering who I am.
Yeah. 100%.
And I guess I don't ever want to be in a. It's hard to date normal people, and it's hard to date people that are in recovery.
Yeah. No.
Normal people are like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" And it's like, well, I don't drink, and they're like, "Okay, see you later,"
But then listen, real quick, like, pump the brakes. Is that someone that you'd want to even be with anyways? That would be like, I can't be with you. You don't drink.
No, absolutely.
I mean,
not.
I know, like I said, I'm going to ask some questions that might, to us, we're like, fucking, that's an idiotic question. But this says we got, like, that little number, usually you can times that by about 6. So there's usually quite a few different people that are listening that aren't in recovery. They're just not. And they're thinking about it, or they have these same type of questions. I get a ton of questions texted me. Speaking of that, anyone listening, I did put my number up there. You can text me directly if you're not comfortable putting a question on the screen. But if there's something you want me to ask them or something you want me to have them elaborate on, just text it to me and I'll make sure I get to it. But that's why I say, like, speak. Let's go with that. If you're out there, I don't know, like, you just made it sound like I'm still discovering myself. So you haven't actively been trying to get into a relationship?
No.
Okay. You say it
No. Like, I try to, maybe date, have a date or here or there, but I'm not. If a relationship came into my life, would I be happy about that? Absolutely.
Right.
But it's like I have a feeling like I'm gonna know it when I know.
Put it this way: for me, I can speak for myself. Is and this has happened not even just in recovery, but it did happen in recovery. It's like once, like 2 or 3 relationships ago, I was like, I'm done, and it's always once you're like, I'm done. And then it does happen. When you're trying, it's like anything, when you're trying to force it or make it happen, for some reason, it just doesn't seem like it ever happens. But you're not here to be like, nope, like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're open to it. Jordan, we're on a topic that you can share about. Dating in recovery, what do you think about it?
It's trash.
For you, your experience is that. Do you think, like, with your experiences, it's something that maybe you're like, shit, looking back on it, maybe I should have just not got into relationships?
Oh, 100%.
Or are there some great experiences you took from some things and you've really grown through them?
Oh, I mean, pain is the touchstone for growth, right? But that doesn't mean it's,
It's something you welcome?
there's the pain that is unavoidable and it is just life. And then there's the pain that we place ourselves right in the path of, right? And it's that difference, right? Because there's some hurts in love that you can't control. But there's some hurts that you can, and there's some signs when you should walk away. And, I love it when me and Ashley have these deep conversations about life, love, and relationships, because we can be our authentic 100% selves with each other at all times, whether it's a disagreement or whatever, we bring it to each other.
You guys are best friends.
Yes,
Okay.
but there's a reason. It's because of the foundation of our friendship is the way that we communicate and we talk about things, even if it's uncomfortable. And we never are mean with each other, right? We are never mean to each other. We are never hurtful. We are never spiteful. We do not backlash at each other. We do not gossip. And I know that whatever I tell Ashley is staying with Ashley. And I know that whatever Ashley, cause sometimes she can hurt my feelings without her knowing it, and vice versa, because we also share some of the same mental health stuff, which gives us really good insight into each other's personality types, right? Which is another level of friendship I've never had with anybody. But I can always bring these things. So anyways, me and Ashley have these deep conversations, and we talk about that sometimes, that love that you want more of, it was you all along, right? You're the one giving that love. You're the one giving those good feelings. Like, you're the one that possesses that. But, we feel like we need somebody else when really the magic's us all along.
It's like that. A speaker said it once, and it clicked. Sometimes we don't hear it until we say it. Sometimes you don't hear that message until it comes out of your own mouth. Like, when you're speaking from the heart and you're just sharing about something and, like, it just clicks. Just like that. Like, I don't know, how'd you ever realize that? How'd you figure that out, that, like, what you just said?
Well, because me and Ashley both kind of went through something particularly rough at the same time, and we were both heartbroken at the same time. And so me and Ashley are the type of friends where we can go to lunch and be at lunch for 4 hours and be laughing like a couple of stoners, like the giggles, you know what I mean? And and time just flies, and so we have all these conversations, and we, no matter how many times we've heard it, we know that, or whatever, however many times that same person has vented about the same situation, whatever we need, we give each other that space to be. And looking back now, I laugh because I was just saying this to Ashley today, too, is there was a certain person in a situation in a relationship that had caused quite a bit of drama. And it was really set me on a wild and out path for a little bit emotionally. And now I look back and I want to thank this girl. Like, girl, had I known now what known then what I know now, like, you saved me. Like, that was a blessing.
But that's also, like, for me, I see stuff like that. Like, that's the plan. That was, you know what? John A. just said something.
I do want to shout out John Bryce, Ashley Corbell, and John Anderson.
I love y'all.
I love all of you. Yes, I do.
John did just say something which you were kind of talking about, and I couldn't agree more. He's like, work on yourself, and then things. I'm gonna word for word it. It was, let's see. We work on it ourselves, and they work themselves out. Basically, like, once you get right with yourself. And I found that too. It's like, that girl shot me down at 6 months. Like, no, I'm not gonna go out on a date with you. You don't even know who you are yet. And then I start focusing on me. Like, and that went on for a few years. Like, and it was weird when we were in Arkansas. I get all emotional when I'm writing. And I was by myself, and I realized somewhere along the line, like, I'm okay with who I am. Somewhere while I was writing in Arkansas, 3 years after that happened, I'm like, I'm okay with who I am. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in this relationship. But, like, that's how it worked. I figured out who I was, and I'm okay with me. And I don't know if it's the persona you put out to the stars or whatever. But whatever. That's enough on me and enough on relationships. So you guys got your relationship stuff handled, kind of. You brought up mental health. We're going to talk about that for a minute, because we've had some talks on the show about it with multiple guests, and a lot of people see it a lot of different ways. Some people think recovery is all you need. Some people, like, I'm here to be as a host where I try to put the questions out there and not take any type of sides, but I'm one of these guys who feels like if there's some medical help you need, you should go get it. Like, no one should be frowned on for taking meds for their mental health or anything like that. So, being in recovery, how have you addressed any of your mental health stuff, and how do you get through it?
Me personally, I had to do 2 years of intensive EMDR therapy, basically to rewire the synapses in my brain to go back to the way they were before. But it really just helped me unpack a lot of things. I wouldn't say because I have BPD that my brain chemistry is permanently altered. But therapy did give me some tools, and along with therapy and recovery, helped me with my mental health, because without knowing it, the same foundation for BPD is moral compass work and character building. And
What'd you
that
say BPD is?
borderline personality disorder.
Oh.
Okay. So the same it's character building and foundation work, and that's the same thing that recovery is, right? It's give up, own up, clean up, and grow up, and those are basically the 12 steps, right? And that's the same thing with BPD. It's moral compass building and character building.
But when we talk about mental health stuff, like, instantly my head's like, all right, so what meds do you have to take? I don't want to know what kind of meds are having to be taken. What I'm asking is, like, what's your thoughts on being prescribed meds for mental health?
I would recommend a genealogy test, which is what I did. It's gene testing, and that's where they look at your blood and your genes, and they tell the way that medications metabolize in your system. And so it's the same thing as a red, yellow, green.
Okay.
You know, so red is absolutely not, yellow is mild, and green is will 100% work. And then that eliminates any guessing and checking. They
And
can
that made a huge
pinpoint
difference.
a night and day difference, and they can put you on exactly what's going to work for you.
What's your thoughts on it? On do you feel it's okay that if someone needs mental health meds, that they should be taking them and consult with the doctor, or all they need is recovery?
Oh no, everybody's.
I remember about the question thing.
We are not doctors in
Yes,
recovery. So like we don't have medical degrees, so we aren't here. You know, we can't say whether you should be taking a medication or not. You know, if a doctor or professional believes that you should be on medication, and you know that you're making the right decisions, you know, absolutely take your mental health medication.
That's kind of what I know. Like I said, it sounds silly when I ask it, but people need to hear that. There's people I've had on that are like, feel guilty for taking Prozac, or feel bad about Zoloft, or something that was prescribed by a doctor, and someone along the line said, well, if you do your recovery a little better, you can get off those meds. Something like that. So I like to have people share from their side of it and say, like, exactly what you said. Like, we're not doctors. Like, they went to school for multiple years to learn about this stuff. And I'm glad, Jordan, that you brought that up about the genealogy. I think it was you who told me that a while ago about this. And I think that sounds great. Like, it's more in-depth learning about yourself and figuring out what works best for you.
Well, I did the gene test, and then there were some assessments that followed as well.
Right. I mean, but end of the day, we're responsible about our mental health. And we take the advice from professional medical
And if you think about it, most of us spent so long on drugs and alcohol that our brain chemistry is altered, and that we have stopped producing happy chemicals, and there is nothing wrong. Most people do need that assistance to get your brain chemistry right. And I feel like there is such a stigma, and it's like, why are we creating this stigma? Why are we not wanting to help? Why are we not wanting to heal? Why are we not encouraging it? Why are we not encouraging vulnerability and talking about these mental health issues? Because talking about it is what's saving lives.
This is what I was trying to get at. I don't know how to form the proper question to get that. I knew this is how you felt about it, and I just didn't know how to have you word it. And that's right, the stigma that's behind a lot of mental health stuff. And sure, it was people like, I think about with pain meds, it was I was just talking to a coworker when he was talking about taking payments. I was like, it was guys like me that wrecked it for you who really need it. You know, I was out there drug seeking, and now they have to make you jump hoops and blah, blah, blah. Basically, like, yes, you're right about mental health and the stigma that surrounds it. And I know, because I'm in meetings with some of these guys that feel recovery is all you need. And that's just not the case for a lot of people, because you hit it on the head. Maybe for some of them guys, that's all it is. But with my job, I always was worried, like, I wrecked my chemistry for energy. Like, I took so many mood-altering things, but whatever. I'm not reading. What do we got? Anything good?
Jamie Olson says he's heard a lot about the gene test. Robert Jones says hello. Right. And Ashley Corbell says she loves us so much.
I think this works better that I have the camera at you guys and then you guys read what the audience is writing.
Hey, can I tell you something that just blew my mind? Because you, without even knowing it, did something that I have wanted somebody to do for me for as long as I could remember. Something none of my family has done or anybody has done.
Stroking my ego.
I told you that I had BPD. And what did you do?
I need to know what it is.
And what did you do?
What does BPD mean?
When you went down a rabbit hole and you researched the shit out of it because you wanted to understand me.
Yeah.
Nobody in my entire life, never anybody I've dated, nobody besides my best friend who shares it with me, so of course she knows about it, has ever cared to research it or to find out. And to me, that blew my mind. I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, God, I'm so grateful for him because, like, what a good guy. Because me and you are not super close, but you constantly, we check in with each other and say hi and see each other at events. And I've been able to be on this a couple of times, not as a guest, but just as an appearance. And I appreciate who you are as a person in this program just because you have such a loving, big heart without even realizing it.
Stop
I mean, you just did. You did one
Thank
of
you.
the kindest, sweetest things that anybody has ever done that I've just always wanted.
All right. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm done.
You posted a video once where you're running, then you're crying, then you're laughing, then you're crying, and it fucked me up. I'm not going to lie. It fucked me up. It's someone I know. I like you. You're in recovery. We care about one another. Anyone in recovery I care about. I think I hit you up. I called you or I texted you or something because what the fuck? What's up? Like, I don't know. It's what we do, or that's what I get to do. I got my recovery. I can be who I want to be, and I want to be a nice person.
And, you know, that's what BPD looks like. Like, people were like, are you okay? And it's like, this is why people don't want to talk about it. Because I post one video of what day to day, and people are like, are you good? Are you still on this side of the tracks? And it's like, man, if you knew what like, people think dealing with people with BPD is hard, but, like, have you ever tried to live with it?
No, I don't know.
It's
No, that's what I'm saying.
brutal.
No.
It is
Yeah.
brutal.
It reminds me of the other side. Like, when someone's in a relationship and you can't understand why they're still with them, it's like, I don't know how you love them. I don't know what it feels like the way you love someone else. Just like, I don't know what it's like in your head.
Or how entwined that person is in your life, or how, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know the connections people have.
And we don't know the depths of other people, too. So, and this sucks, too. Like I was telling you guys, like, I knew I wasn't going to get the whole time with you guys just because of the first show stuff. And you tried to back out. She did. She was like, so you don't need me tonight, right? And then I held her to the coals. I was like, if you got a reason, not. And then I was like, no, right away. I'm like, bullshit, you're not backing out. Then I came back. I was like, look, if you can't be on, I'll make it work. Do you have a reason you need to say no? She's like, no, I gotta say yes. So
it's okay. I did the same thing to Ashley. I told her right when I was going to be on that I wanted her to be on it with me, and she's like, "Oh."
See, I thought you were talking about Corbell. I've never met you, so I don't think I have. And if I have, I'm sorry I didn't remember. But
I assume Ashley Corbell's been on the show.
Yeah, I
see?
think I've had her on multiple times.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were on with her, and I think she's on with Jesse, but I didn't know. And whatever. I'm grateful you guys came on, showed up, showed out, all that. And now, like, unfortunately, we're going to start wrapping things down because there's so much more I want to talk about, but I don't want to get into those conversations until I get you guys back on. This lady tonight earlier was like, anyone who wants to be on the show, just here, we'll start a list. And all these people start coming up to me like, oh, Gracie said... Yeah. I got like 10 people already texting me like, okay, when am I on? But that's good. So anyone listening, you want to be on the show, just reach out to me. I put my number on there. If you have any direction for the show, you want to see it go, let me know. Make this your show. Come on down. Check it out. We're in a room with tons of couches and chairs. You can come watch the show or come be on it. That was a side note. So, one other question I have for both of you. Do you have a higher power? And if so, what's that look like for your recovery? Take it away. Whichever one.
My higher power is responsible for my recovery. I mean, it wasn't until I got out of my own way and gave up control that my life started to change, and I took suggestions and and I took a deep look at myself, and I went through my life with a fine-tooth comb, and I saw how I continuously showed up, and it turns out I was the issue, and then I got to make amends, and that was some of the most life-altering experiences, but the healing that came in the understanding and the aha moments, you know, that the aha moments are what it is for me. Can I share one quick? One of my biggest aha moments was, so my mom was also a drug user, right, and was pretty violent growing up, and we had a pretty rough childhood. And it wasn't until I got sober and made amends and I I was given a subject of anger or hurt or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was in researching this and digging in my feelings that I realized, like, my mom was, she was sexually assaulted as a child growing up, and then they partied and she started having babies at 17. She didn't know how to be a mom.
A kid,
right.
Having a kid.
And she never stopped partying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't have the capacity to love. She didn't have the capacity to be a mom. And it doesn't excuse in any way the things that happened in my childhood.
It doesn't excuse
but
you seeing it a certain way
it gives
either.
me an understanding as to why she was the way she
Right.
was, because it was just the generational trauma, the cycle that had continued.
But you said this is an aha moment, and you didn't realize this probably
because
just
it gave
last
me
few
a
years.
level of understanding and compassion that I had never had, or empathy. I lack empathy in some situations. I'm a very empathetic person, but when it comes to personal relationships, I can be, I can lack empathy.
So what I'm getting at is this, like, the way you were raised by her at that time, until you got some recovery and figured some things out with the fine-tooth comb going through your life, like, you can't beat yourself up for how you saw her as you were growing up.
Right.
I mean, you were a kid not being raised properly, and, like, there's things that happen. I don't know. I'm over here telling you, don't beat yourself up.
No, and I don't.
All right, good. Well,
I don't. My childhood and my life before recovery has it doesn't affect me.
No, and that's awesome.
And that's why I'm so open about it. And I'll talk, like, sometimes I'm like, gosh, should I not talk about this stuff at work? But people ask me about my life, and it's like, I'm not going to lie.
And you work with the
or
guys.
sugarcoat it, or, you know what I mean? I'm not, my life is my life. And, like, my sister, I know when we talk about memories, she's like, oh, man, all your memories are bummers. But it's like, well, that's not how I see it, because they're my memories. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know. I see a lot of us beat ourselves up for our past.
Yeah.
But a lot of us do beat ourselves up over our past. But like what you said is like, no, I'm done with that. And that's a huge hurdle for people to get over, is their pasts. It was for me, because think of what we did in our past. I mean, minus building forts and making dinners while whacked out.
Well,
I thought that was awesome. That's funny. I've never heard of anyone making big Thanksgiving dinners. What is your higher power, Ashley? You have a higher power. If so, what's that look like today?
Yes, I have a higher power. But I agree with Jordan about the aha moments. Like, I live for those. I'll have periods where I'm just like down, like nothing seems to be going on, like I'm in, like nothing is happening, like where is that, you know? And then I'll keep going on with it, you know, I'll keep doing the next thing, and then all of a sudden there it is again. I'll hear that thing or I'll read that thing, and it's like, oh, there it is, there you are again. It's that thing that's saying, okay, you're right where you need to be.
Yeah.
You're on the path that you're supposed to be on, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here hearing that thing, you know, doing that thing right this minute.
And that's the aha part of it.
Yeah,
and
for
you
me.
correlate that with your higher power.
Yes, absolutely. Like, Yeah.
Good. All
So,
right.
my-
no, go ahead. Yeah.
How I got my sponsor, another aha moment. So I'd asked this random person, not a random person, but somebody that I knew to be my sponsor. And she had told me that she couldn't be my sponsor and that I should ask Ann Abrahamson. Okay. And this was before this bout of recovery. Before this time in recovery. It was my double dirty 30. So it was my 30th birthday and my 30 days, and we were going to the Nuisance concert, and I had a hot pink wig on when we went down to the Basilica. And guess who the 5-minute speaker was? Ann Abrahamson. And I was like, huh. And I went on Facebook, and I put in the name, and sure as shit, there was a mutual friend. And I was like, okay. So I've never met the lady before in my life. After the meeting, I went up.
Someone suggested that name to you.
Yeah, and then 2 days later, I went to the Basilica, and that was the 5-minute speaker.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes, and I went up to her, and I'd never met her before,
pink
and
wig.
I asked her to be my sponsor, and she's been and the rest is
yeah.
history. Yeah.
That's cute.
That's awesome. Awesome sauce. So, this is where we wrap up stuff. Before I get into gratitude, is there anything you guys would like to add? But before you do, just know you both are coming back on to have a full show without a bunch of the hubbub like we did before. Anything you'd like to add before we get into gratitude?
No. I'm,
Like teenage girls.
I'm like, God dang it! Why'd you make me come on this? She said.
Because
I am such a shy person. Like,
We
yes,
got
I
you.
really am. I am. I'm so quiet.
You've been on air for over
Like,
an hour
I know.
with
But I'm like-
4,500 people listening and watching
Yeah,
you.
right.
Ashley is
I'm-
one of the deepest people I know, and the reason I brought her on here is because she has such good stuff to say, but she rarely shares it with anybody else but me.
That's selfish. That's
It really is.
That's shellfish.
We got you.
Yeah, no, that means that we're gonna put one in the books before you leave. Ashley, what are you grateful for today?
So much. I'm grateful I get to be a mom today.
Yes.
For so many years I was using and I didn't get to show up for my kids the way that I wanted to, like especially like my daughter. Like I wanted to be like the best mom to her, and I wanted to be best friends, and I wanted to be the mom that I felt like I didn't have, like
Right.
to give her all the love and all this, you know. And for a lot of years I was, but then, you know, life happened, and my whole world went crashing down, you know, and I lost that. Like, I lost my way for a long time, and now I get to show up for my daughter and be the mom that I wanted to be from the beginning. And
So, like, if you said one of the
that's
biggest gifts of recovery, would that be one of them?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, tingly.
The best.
Jordan, what are you grateful for today in your life and recovery?
What you just said. I'm grateful. I thank you for your life. I thank you for my life. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for your life. I'm grateful for Ashley's life. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the life we all get to live. Because unfortunately, not a lot of us make it back, right?
No.
And I'm grateful I get to wake up every day. And I'm grateful for my struggles.
Grateful for your
But I'm grateful for your life. Thank you.
Listen to these girls. Superstars. Gracie, you didn't think you were going to get off without speaking up again, did you? Pull that mic closer to you, please.
All right.
Yeah, you just belly up on that mic, please. I should have loosened that so you could pull it, but I didn't. You really can't.
It's okay.
There you go. So, Gracie, what do you want to tell anyone listening who has not been to a Work for Recovery?
What I want to tell you guys, if you haven't been here, you need to get here, because this one place will give you satisfaction, open you up, let you learn how to live in recovery, teach you how to fellowship, hang out. We just like being a one big happy family here. And I promise you, if you just come, if you see the crazy lady running around here saying, hello, how you doing? My name is Miss Gracie. That's me. So welcome. Come on down here and hang out with us.
And that's exactly it with her. I'm grateful for all of you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, remember, next week we should have just, I don't know.
Should be a little
I'll
better.
try to put it a little better. This is good as, no, I'm going to try to put it on the We'll Work for Recovery's Facebook page. I'm going to try to have that so you can link up through that. I'm going to talk with 2218 to see if we can still do kind of a hybrid, dual access to this, because we're still talking about 2218. At the end of the day, people are hearing about recovery and finding new meetings and finding things that we can do for ourselves and for our recovery. That's what this show's about. Like, if you're struggling, please reach out. I put my number on here. There's 30, 40 people who have checked in on just this feed. I don't have the other 5 feeds open right now, and I'm sorry about that. So I'm not getting all the messages, just the one from, unfortunately right now, the ones from the 2218, or from the 2218 Facebook page. I'm going to get Eric in here to help me link up all the other ones so I can see everyone's message. So if I didn't get to one of your questions or comments, I apologize. It's not personal, but just know, like, if someone hasn't told you, let me be the one to say, like, I love you, man. You're worth the fight. You're worthy. Fight for your recovery. Like, oh, wrong shoulder. I'm looking at it backwards. Like, what's that say? Right there? I'm learning how to do camera stuff. Right there. Will Work for Recovery. Get down here, 2520 North 2nd Street. Every morning there's an early meeting. There's always a meeting at 7 o'clock every night. We do Sunday fun days. We're doing a podcast here. So if you got any ideas for the show, just let me know. Hit me up. My number's on there. Other than that, thank you all. We appreciate you. We love you. Please fight for your recovery. You're worth it.
Thank you.